Welcome to this class on Applied Non-Ruminant Nutrition by Dr. Pramod Kumar from gnpsirclasses. This is the class from Unit 4 of Animal Nutrition. Hope you will enjoy and learn. Here are the contents that we will discuss. Nutrient requirements in poultry, swine and equine. Methods adopted for arriving at energy and protein requirements. Feeding standards for non-ruminants and poultry. Feeding of swine. Feeding of ducks, quails, turkeys and laboratory animals. Nutrient requirements of mice, rats, rabbits and guinea pigs. Nutrient requirement and feeding of different categories of dogs and cats. Feeding of wild animals and birds in captivity. So first we discuss the poultry nutrition. The feed constituents for poultry should include energy sources, maize, barley, sorghum, oats, wheat, protein sources, SBM, mustard meal, maize gluten meal, cottonseed meal, mineral supplements, Ca, P, Mg, microminerals, vitamin supplements, Vit A, D, A and B complex, feed additive, coccidiostat, antibiotics compound, probiotics, prebiotics, feed enzyme, toxin binders. Energy supplements should constitute 60 to 70% of feed. The high-energy supplements include maize, wheat, broken rice, sorghum fats and oil, whereas low-energy supplements include pearl millet, finger millet, rice polish, the oiled rice bran, and wheat bran. Maize is the most popular feed for poultry and can be replaced partially or even completely. The energy, protein, and linoleic acid contents of maize, maize gluten, and jowar are shown in the table. Protein sources for poultry. Soybean meal is an excellent protein source for poultry but is deficient in methionine. Maize gluten meal also has good protein content but is deficient in lysine. Other meals such as cottonseed meals can only be added a maximum up to 1%. Other protein sources include fish and fish meal, meat meal and hatchery byproducts. The metabolizable energy requirement for broilers is explained in formulas that should be remembered. Next, let us consider the amino acid requirements. An ideal protein would provide all the essential amino acids in the correct proportion. The essential amino acids include lysine, methionine, cysteine, tryptophan, arginine, and isoleucine. Methionine is the first limiting amino acid in broilers, lysine is the second limiting amino acid and threonine is the third limiting amino acid for broilers. The essential amino acid for pigs is lysine, and for sheep is methionine. Taurine and arachidonic acid are essential amino acid and essential fatty acids for cats, and linoleic acid is an essential fatty acid for poultry and pigs. Broiler feeding. A broiler is any chicken that is bred and raised specifically for meat production. Most commercial broilers reach slaughter weight between 4-6 weeks of age. 3 phases of broiler feeding are important, namely pre-starter phase 0 to 14 days of age, starter phase 14 to 21 days of age, and finisher phase 21 to 42 days of age. These two tables depict the crude protein, metabolizable energy, lysine, methionine, and calcium, and phosphorus requirements of pre-starter, starter, and finisher broilers as per the Indian Council of Agricultural Research Standards 2013 and the BIS Standards 2007. Layers. Layer birds are special breeds of hens raised for commercial egg production. They start laying eggs from the age of 18-19 weeks and continue to lay eggs continuously till 70-78 weeks of age. They are reared in 3 phases, namely starter 0 to 8 weeks of age, grower 8 to 20 weeks of age, layer 20 weeks or above age. In the layering phase 1, 20 to 42 weeks, birds increase in body size, their egg production, and egg weight also increases. In the layering phase 2, 42 to 72 weeks, birds gain minimal weight and their egg production decreases slowly. A laying hen showing 90% egg production requires 16 to 18 gram of protein and 285 to 290 kilocalorie of metabolizable energy per day. It is important to increase the calcium to about 2% of diet at the onset of egg production. The white leghorn hen requires 3.8 to 4.2 grams of calcium during their 90% egg production period. Phase feeding of laying hens was suggested by G.F. Combs in 1960, and it suggested that the nutrient intake of laying hens should be adjusted with the rate of egg production. During phase 1, which is the most critical period, the crude protein requirement from 22 to 42 weeks of age is 18%. During phase 2, which is between 42 to 62 weeks of age, the crude protein requirement is 6%, and during phase 3, which is the period after 62 weeks of age, the crude protein requirement is 15% only. Now let us discuss swine nutrition. Feed costs about 75% for the raising of pigs. The basic nutrients that pigs require for maintenance, growth, reproduction and good health include carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals, vitamins and water. The energy needed for growth and activity is derived primarily from carbohydrates and fats. Protein will also supply energy, particularly if carbohydrate and fat intake is inadequate or if protein intake exceeds the needs of the body. The water requirement of swine is shown in the table. At 8 weeks of age, the water requirement is 3 liters, which increases to 7 and 8 liters at 20 and 28 weeks of age respectively. Pregnant pigs require 12 liters of water the first 3 months, and lactating sows with 5 to 8 piglets require 25 liters of water. Feeding early growing pigs. The average litter size is 7.5 pigs, and it is not uncommon for a sow to have 12 to 14 pigs per litter. The gestation period of a sow is 114 days. Piglets should consume 250 to 300 milliliters of colostrum, newborn piglet, to boost immunity. They need to breastfeed 8 to 10 times a day. Creep, pre-starter. Feeding is essential for suckling piglets after 1 week of age for fast growth and attainment of satisfactory weaning weight. Creep feed. Creep feeding is the practice of feeding a solid diet to piglets while they are suckling the sow, preparing their digestive system for weaning. The creep feed should be more palatable, high in protein and energy content with low fiber levels. Pigs receiving ad lib should have easy access to creep feed. Creep mixture is introduced at 7 to 14 days of age and fed until weaning. Creep feed can contain up to 20% protein and meet 3000 kilocalorie energy and adequate minerals including iron, some important amino acids and vitamins. Iron and copper deficiency in sow milk causes piglet anemia. Thus creep feed is generally mixed with ferrous sulfate at a ratio of 9:1 and fed to prevent piglet anemia. An alternate method of supplementing iron to the newborn piglets is to paint the sow's udder with liquid oral iron supplements. Iron dextran injection can be given on the 4th and 14th day of age. Nutrient requirements of diet for growing pigs. As per NRC guidelines, after weaning with creep feed on attainment of about 12 to 15 kilograms at 8 weeks of age, piglets are switched over to grower ration. At this stage, pigs consume considerably more feed. On careful management, once a pig attains about 20 kilograms of body weight, it would be thrifty in appearance and would almost pass the nutritionally critical period. Thereafter, it performs well on relatively simple rations under optimum management conditions. Swine rations should contain more concentrates and less roughage. When fodder is used to replace concentrates for pigs, it is recommended to limit concentrate levels by hand feeding, as pigs will not reduce their concentrate intake if they are self-fed. Good quality pasture grass or cultivated fodder can be used to replace 10 to 20 and 20 to 25% concentrate respectively. Pigs can make very good use of kitchen waste, vegetable or fruit waste, and convert less edible food into edible meat very efficiently and quickly. The table shows the energy and protein requirements in the diet of growing pigs. The crude protein requirement is high at 3 to 5 kilograms body weight and decrease sequentially as the pig attains 80 to 120 kilograms body weight, whereas the feed intake increases. This table shows the dietary nutrient requirements of desi, native, pigs. This table shows the dietary requirements of crossbred pigs. Additional feed allowance of 0.5 to 1.5 kilograms of grain to breeding pigs is called flushing and is done to increase the ovulation rates. The other requirements of pregnant pigs are shown here. This table shows the dietary nutrient requirements of crossbred pregnant gilts. Similarly, this table depicts the nutrient requirements of growing and breeding stock of pigs. The common deficiency disease in pigs and their names and the deficient mineral or vitamin that results in the disease are shown in this table. Now we discuss the duck nutrition. Ducks constitute about 10% of the total poultry population. They contribute about 6 to 7% of total eggs produced in the country. West Bengal and Kerala are the major consumer states for duck eggs and meat. Khaki Campbell is the best egg producer. Duck produces about 300 eggs per year. White Pekin is a table-purpose duck. It attains about 2.2 to 2.5 kilograms of body weight at 42 days of age, with a feed conversion ratio of 1:2.3 to 2.7 kgs. Differences between duck and chicken. Ducks do not have crop. Their proventriculus is cylindrical, which makes the feed passage rate quicker than that of chicken. Also possess a bill in piece of a beak. Bills are capable of separating feed mixed in water. Duck's bill is not well adapted for dry mesh feeding, as dry mash sticks on the bill and ducks try to remove it by shaking or washing. This table shows the nutrient requirements of duck. Feeding of laying breeder ducks. Layer rations contain a higher level of calcium than other duck rations. At 3.0% of the diet is adequate for most breeds of ducks, including high egg-producing breeds. When enough calcium is included in the ration, it is not necessary to feed oyster shells in addition. Aflatoxicosis in ducks. It is caused by consumption of feeds contamination with Aspergillus flavus and E. parasiticus. Aflatoxicosis constitutes 20% of all deaths and is more common in ducklings of 3 to 8 weeks of age. Aflatoxin B1 is most potent. It is hepatotoxin. Aflatoxin in the feed of ducks should be maximum 3 parts per billion. Prevention and control. Dietary additive, phenobarbital, cysteine, and charcoal are suggested. Hydrate sodium calcium aluminosilicates, HSCAS, are used as an anti-cooking agent to sequester or bind aflatoxin and reduce absorption from the GI tract. Now we discuss dog and cat nutrition. Here are some important differences between dog and cat nutrition. Cat food contains a higher level of protein when compared to dog food. Cats need more protein because they use the proteins as an energy source. Cats have 12 essential amino acids while dogs only have 11. Taurine is an amino acid that is essential for cats but non-essential for dogs. Dogs can convert beta-carotene into vitamin A within their bodies, but cats can't. Cats also require 5 times more thiamine in their diets than do dogs. Arachidonic acid is an essential fatty acid that cats cannot manufacture, while dogs are able. The calculation of energy requirement in dogs is done by the formula adult metabolizable energy requirement is equal to K into W kilogram 0.67. K is equal to 132 for inactive dogs, 145 for active dogs, 200 for very active dogs, and 300 for endurance performance dogs. The details of other requirements for dogs are shown in the table. Similarly, the table shows the energy requirements for cats. Sedentary, moderately active, and very active cats require 60, 70 and 80 metabolizable energy per kilogram body weight. This table shows the nutrient concentrations for dogs and cats as per AAFCO. Types of dog foods. Prepared foods are sometimes fed to companion animals and can be classified based on its moisture percent, such as dry food, 5 to 12%, semi-moist food, 15 to 30%, and canned food, 70 to 85%. Taurine. Taurine is one of 11 essential amino acids required by cats. Taurine is a beta amino acid. Most mammals can synthesize taurine from sulfur-containing amino acids. The cat's ability to synthesize taurine is very limited. Taurine is found in relatively high concentrations in a variety of tissues, including muscle, the retina, and the CNS. Feline central retina degeneration is a progressive degeneration of the photoreceptor cells. Feeding of sick dogs. Dogs with liver disease, diabetes mellitus, cardiac insufficiency, renal insufficiency, and diarrhea must be carefully fed. This table shows the nutrient requirements of horses. Feeding of rabbits. Rabbits are herbivores and require plenty of roughage and limited concentrates. They have continuously growing incisors and molars which wear down with the normal action of eating. As in guinea pigs, they produce nutrient-rich cacotropes which they eat directly from the anus area known as cacotrophy. The feed intake by growing rabbits after weaning is 100 gm, resting does require 150 grams, thus during gestation requires 250 grams. Feedstuffs commonly used for rabbits. Green roughages, grasses, weeds and leafy vegetables. Root crops, carrots, sweet potatoes, turnips and beets. Cereal grains and byproducts, oats, wheat, barley, corn, rice and bran. Hays, leguminous or non-leguminous. Protein supplements, oil cake or pulses. Thank you very much for your patience in listening and watching this video. Kindly share, comment, like and subscribe GNP Sir official YouTube channel.